Honestly, I felt like I had no business being a DP. I kind of felt like everyone on the project was gonna quickly know that I was just a YouTuber and not a real filmmaker, and I would be exposed as a fraud and kicked off of the set and never work another job in my life. But thankfully, it didn't go that way, obviously. Filmmaking is at a really interesting inflection point right now, where it used to be the case that there were these two different worlds. There was traditional filmmaking and there's YouTube filmmaking. And lately it seems like those worlds are getting a lot closer and there aren't as distinctive lines between the two. It seems like a lot of traditional filmmakers are starting to see the value of YouTube and are starting channels and creating incredible things on YouTube. And I am someone who has come purely from the YouTube world. I have zero traditional film experience, no film school. I've worked on zero sets up until this point. Everything I know and everything I've made has been from and for YouTube. So while these traditional filmmakers are coming to YouTube because they're seeing its value, I personally want to get more involved in the traditional film world because I think that I have a lot to learn from that space. I recently was able to work as a DP on a pretty small project. I just wanted to share my experience as someone who came exclusively from YouTube. What was it like being in that world, and what are some takeaways that I had from that experience? Today, I get to do two of my all-time favorite things at the same time. We're making a YouTube video and we're building IKEA furniture. Where are the instructions? Oh, they're in there. It's like lodged in the middle of this box. First things first, how the heck did I end up being DP on a project within like a month of being in New York City? The only way that I got onto this project was because of my YouTube channel. I was at a filmmaker networking event here in the city and met someone awesome who was directing this project and kind of recognized my face but wasn't sure where from. And so I told her about my YouTube channel and she was like, "Oh yeah, I've totally seen your work. Do you want to DP this project I have coming up?" Which my first reaction was, "Are you insane? I am not qualified for that. I have no business being a DP on any type of project out here." But she was far more confident in me than I was in myself because she had seen my work on YouTube, so I agreed to do it. And I think that this is the exact reason why so many people in the traditional film world are starting to make YouTube channels. It's such an obvious, easy way to give yourself an excuse to make things and to be endlessly improving and putting your work out there, which just has the potential to be seen by anyone. You really never know who's going to be watching it and what type of opportunities that could lead to. So there's really something to be said for making your own opportunities. If you don't have clients to work with, if you don't have sets to get on, you can always just make your own thing. You can pick up a camera, you can pick up your phone and start making something. Oh, this is the part that you need a friend for. Not everyone has that luxury. If you want to go far, go together. If you want to build IKEA furniture, go alone. Let's talk about how it felt actually being on set. I don't think there was any amount of YouTube filmmaking I could have done that would have made me not feel like an imposter on that set. I felt so nervous. I felt like I had no idea what I was doing. I felt like everyone would just know that I was the YouTuber and clearly didn't know anything. I was definitely way harsher on myself than they were. Everyone on set was of the mind of like, "Oh, you've made videos before? Yeah, of course you're a filmmaker. It doesn't matter what avenue you've made them in." I think the thing that stood out the most at first though was just the vocabulary that they used. It took a second to understand some of the verbiage. And it also took me a second to figure out like whose role is what, who's responsible for doing what. Do I say speed when the sound says speed, or do I say something else?
Yeah, no, you say speed.
Okay, cool.
For the record, would be helpful.
Okay, great.
Hell yeah.
Making anything, YouTube videos, films, commercials, documentaries, things will inevitably go wrong. Probably every single time. And what matters most is how you respond and how you figure out how to move forward when things do inevitably not go great. Wait a minute. Who are you?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
With YouTube, when things go wrong, I had the luxury of saying, it's okay, I'll try it another day, I'll push the deadline a little bit. It's just me, so I can try it again the next day. In traditional filmmaking, that's not an option. You are coordinating with this huge team of people. It's so much work just to get everyone there in the first place that if something goes wrong, you have to solve it right then and there. If you are someone that doesn't just get discouraged and doesn't just give up, if you can provide a way forward to help everyone's job be a little easier, that's going to make you very valuable. Like I said, things will always go wrong, and it's how you respond and how you react to it that is actually what matters. This thing is actually kind of sick. I mentioned earlier how often you have to create your own opportunities. You have to just find a reason to make something and keep doing that until it opens more doors. But in this case, I have the perfect reason for you to make something. It's the Musicbed Challenge. This is a 30-day short film competition that Musicbed puts on every year, and it's the perfect opportunity to get creative and bring your film idea to life. There's 3 different categories under which you can make something. There's narrative, there's documentary, and there's spec ad. The judges will be evaluating the films based on craft and storytelling and creativity, and winners will receive a portion of over $60,000 in cash and prizes, and also just recognition within the industry. When you're editing your short film, Musicbed is granting everyone access to their full collection of music so that you can use it in your submission. You can get started by downloading the starter kit, which I'll link in my description, and the films have to be submitted by August 15th. So get to it quickly, and if you happen to be watching this after August 15th, just still go make something regardless. But hopefully you get it in time, and thank you so much, Musicbed, for sponsoring this video. I think my final takeaway from this entire process was just that it is an absolute miracle that anything gets made. I feel like YouTube videos are such a challenge and a struggle for me, and I certainly overcomplicate them, but they always feel so difficult to create. And it turns out that's also the case in the traditional world as well. It is no small feat to gather a group of people all working towards one single goal, which is a creative goal, and it's abstract, and there'll be differences of opinions and understanding. So the fact that anything gets made at all is incredible. The more I do this, the more I make videos and work with other people who make stuff, the more impressed I am when I see something truly great, because it's not easy. And I say that as an encouragement for anyone trying to make anything. No part of this is easy, and that if things are going wrong and if things aren't turning out how you hoped they would, that's okay. That's part of it, and that is a universal experience. I don't know anyone that has made something that turned out exactly how they hoped it would and exactly how they expected it would. I think we always have a certain level of expectation and vision, and then when we make the thing, it's always just a little short of what our vision was and our expectation was. So for us, that feels like a failure. But for everyone else, all they see is what you made, and it's probably really great. It's probably much better than you're giving yourself credit for. So that was a whole lot of talking for a guy that has no clue what he's talking about. But I would love to hear your experience, whether you're someone who's seasoned in the traditional filmmaking world or you're just in the YouTube world. I'd love to hear your experience and thoughts on all of this. So thanks as always for being here, and